I think there's an interesting thing though about what has happened with gambling that has made this more possible for players. Like David Stern, I think, never wanted gambling involved in the NBA, as far as my understanding.
Initially, that was his take, and then once Adam Silver started, I think speaking about how can we regulate it, legalize gambling is good for the game, and then now the NBA, I think they've been at the forefront of this, as far as partnering with legalized gambling. But listen, the NFL has partnerships.
No, I'm not critical. I'm not being critical.
Yeah,
I think that the reason why, and there is some wisdom that would say not being associated with the gambling creates a little bit of separation from things like this happening.
Well, JB Bickerstaff, the Pistons coach, he said not all money is good money. So there is that school of thought.
So some of these people agree. Now, the other argument is people are going to do it anyway. Yep. So they're going to do it with some guy that's wearing a leather jacket in the back of an alley, or they're going to do it online, some professional thing, whatever. The point that I'm trying to make is the game has changed in a way, the game of gambling, in that you can do all these prop bets.
Those are the killers.
And those are the killers. Because before, you had to actively throw a game. You had to make sure your team lost. Yeah. Now you just got to make sure you get less than 8 rebounds. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to get less than 8 rebounds or less than 6 assists when you just sub yourself out because your toe hurts. Mm. So you get your little 4 assists. Your team might be up by 10. You go, okay, my team's not going to lose. I'm not going to have negatively impact my teammates. And I know that I'm not going to cover the spread. And then my boys or the mafia, whoever it is, can make a bunch of money and nobody gets hurt. I at least imagine that's
on points, I just pass. It's like the most charitable way to do it. Well, now I'm getting you the open buckets.
But what I would say is that certain people are paid to score. So you really need to remove yourself from the game in order to not hit those props. Would that be a fair description?
100%. But that's why you think about the Terry Rosier situation in 2023. How it goes. So we already talked about Chauncey Billups. The FBI alleges that he knowingly participated in rigging illegal mafia-led poker games. That's one situation. The other situation is Terry Rosier. That started in 2023. Same characters as the Jonte Porter situation in 2024. That allegation is that he told his friend, a guy named De Niro, which means money, right?
Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm. I failed out of Spanish.
Yeah, it's Italian.
I think senior year.
Yeah, Italian mom.
So De Niro,
white people.
De Niro over here, I guess as the allegation goes, he gets the information from Terry Rosier that the Charlotte Hornets at this point in the season, I think it was March 23, 2023. We all know where the Charlotte Hornets are at that point of the year. They're probably ending up shutting it down. They're playing for a lottery pick. How the story goes, he tells his boy...
Tanking is what...
Tanking is the T word. Actually, tanking is the word they use in the indictment. So actually, I'm going to say that. Tanking.
Yes.
He tells his boy De Niro, I'm shutting it down tonight. I'm just going to play a couple minutes, and I'm out.
Yeah.
The story goes, then his boy tells, other members of this same network of a handful of people, they all bet hundreds of thousands of dollars on the unders. They all win. But again, when this happens, it gets flagged immediately.
Yep.
And when it happens, the NBA launches its own investigation.
Yep.
The NBA can do few things. They can take his phone, which they did. They can interview him, which they did. Then they can ask to talk to other relevant people on the team, get medical records, see, was he really hurt, whatever. They find out he was. There's nothing on his phone that implicates him. All right, cool. They let him play. The FBI, meanwhile, is investigating the hell out of this. They're talking to his boy De Niro, probably. They're talking to all those other friends.
Yeah.
And they come up with the assertion that Terry Rosier was in on it. That these guys, De Niro, these other guys, allegedly went to his house with hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash from the winnings and gave it to him.
Woof.
That's in the allegations.
Woof.
So,
damn. But you're making $26 million,
He's making $26 million. He had just signed a 4-year, $97 million deal.
I think what a lot of people don't realize is how many NBA players are degenerate gamblers. Degenerate gamblers. Constantly gambling, nonstop.
You hear this about golf, too, a lot. Phil Mickelson, there's rumors.
They're on the flights. It's gambling nonstop.
Games on flights.
That
happens.
Yeah. Right. You're not gambling for the money. You're gambling for the thrill of gambling.
It's the thrill of the competition.
You need
the other way of competition. I mean,
I heard with Terry, they didn't actually catch him because they waited for him to do it a second time. So with Jonte, they flagged the first one because these crazy bets that came in on something that's kind of obscure. And they're like, ooh, we think there's something up here. And then he did it again.
Jonte, yeah.
So the second time they're like, it's confirmed. So I heard with Terry, they did it the first time and they were essentially waiting for him to do it again, but it never came.
Yeah.
And that's why
there's only one example.
Exactly.
There's only one example. Now, how did they get to the point of like 2.5 years of like investigating him and then we're putting him in cuffs? It's because of they clearly feel like they have enough evidence from his friend, from those other people in the network. So there's a group of guys. If you go back and read the indictment, it's dozens of pages. It's a guy named Eric. There's a guy named Shane. There's all these guys that allegedly are the network. So this guy, De Niro, tells Eric. Eric tells Shane. Then Shane tells Marvis or whoever. Like they're just going around and they're sharing this information, this inside information, and they're gambling it away. Now Terry Rozier's perspective is, and this is the other issue that the NBA has.
Yeah.
And I think you might know where I'm going with this. Players in the league, this is like not abnormal. They tell their boys and these people around them all the time.
So the idea that they're
I don't think I'm playing tomorrow.
Exactly.
Like LeBron. So the other part is LeBron James. So Damon Jones is another guy, but he was involved in both. He was doing the poker and and his was more flagrant. They have text messages.
Just broke. And
You said it.
He's hanging around. He's broke. He's hanging around
anything.
rich people, and that shit got to be painful.
You said it. I didn't say anything.
Yeah. So what if you?
I'm not gonna deny that.
What if you knew the big man wasn't playing because he told you in the shoot-around?
So there were texts where Damon Jones is telling these same network of people, like, "Yo, put the house on Milwaukee. Make sure your guy D Jones eats too." Essentially, is what he said.
Yeah.
But how is he giving that information?
Not play, or a big player isn't playing for the Lakers. Put the house on Milwaukee. So he doesn't explicitly say, but we.
But
know
then later that day, LeBron James gets declared out with an ankle injury, and that's who the player he was referring, and that's the guy who he was with in LA.
So
season.
the question is, and I'm not trying to like.
It is a problem for the league, but again, like, how do you jurisdict that? How do you legislate that?
It's going to seem like I'm running defense for LeBron here, and I'm really not. But like, the point I'm trying to say is like, is LeBron gonna risk $1 billion empire so Damon Jones can make
eat a little
15
bit.
grand?
Yeah.
Right? Like it's cheaper for him to just give Damon Jones money. We gave him an assistant coaching job.
See, that's what I've asked about this Terry Rozier thing. Like, if your boy wants money, just give him. If he wants to make 100 grand, but it's like then what I get response with is he didn't know he was taking that information to sell it to a network of gamblers.
Exactly.
So how many players in the league today do that? I think a lot. A lot of guys give information to people around them.
So real quick before question, so it's like it's not. The idea is, are they giving information so their boys can make money, or are they simply having a conversation about what happens in their life, which is
innocently, and then that guy takes that information, which is insider information.
Think about this. Think about it like this, Al. You just okay. Go.
So I can see that point of view, but how do you know ahead of time that you're going to get injured? Because they're going out with injuries.
No, there is no. It's
different than LeBron's
there.
So LeBron James situation, he's right though. Like LeBron James, essentially, like in this example, as it's alleged, before the public knew that he was going to be out with an ankle injury, Damon Jones tells a group of bettors, "Yo, LeBron's out. Bet on Milwaukee for this game. He's out." And then 6 hours later, it comes out.
More with Terry.
But Rozier, it has happened where players are going into the game and like they're going to play this game and then they're out. You know, like this is the game. I know of at least a few examples off the top of my head where I'm like, this guy's going to play this game and then he's going to have surgery. You know, I'm not, there's nothing I'm doing with that information. I'm a reporter. So if they tell their camp that, it's like now it's like, are players going to program themselves differently? Like, do I not tell my best friend? Do I just leave it to just telling my trainer and my agent?
And are you going to impose punitive damages on players for sharing information? Like with even your trainer, can you tell your trainer your ankle hurts? Because your trainer could tell his boy, "Yo, put everything on." I mean,
you have to tell your trainer.
It is different though.
Yeah.
It is different, and it does look a little different. And again, the FBI is alleging that Terry Rozier was in on it. Like, let's be clear here. The FBI is fully alleging that he was in on it.
Right.
That he was getting the proceeds of the winnings.
Yeah.
Terry Rozier's like, "Yo, I just said it to him just as a friend. What he did with the information, that's on him."
Yeah.
Which again, that does happen all the time.